All across the country, remote work is changing the landscape. Spokane is absolutely no different, being a major hub of these remote workers. We're going to dive into some of the reasons into why that is and how it's changing the city itself. I don't want to waste anyone's time, so let's just get to it. Remote work. One of these things that has absolutely come to light in recent years, especially post-pandemic. We're seeing it all over the nation, and Spokane seems to be one of the major hubs in which these remote workers are choosing to relocate to in order to continue on their careers and start their new life. First things first, one of the major market shifts that we've seen in our area due to remote work is a significant increase in demand in rural and suburban markets. So much so that according to Zillow, within the last year, Spokane's suburban areas have seen a 15% increase in their housing demands. While on the flip side, our urban markets have only saw about a 5% increase in demand. So in other words, our suburban areas saw a 3x increase over our urban markets, meaning more people want to get out of the city so that they have a little bit more elbow room and quality of life. This is a trend that you see all over the nation, people moving from the densely populated urban centers to the more lessly populated suburban and rural areas, especially in today's world where things like internet access and other quality of life utilities have been more accessible than ever before. We also see this in our housing price trends, where statistics say that the average home price before and after the remote work adaptation we saw in 2019 in the pre-remote work era, the average home price around the greater city of Spokane itself was around $280,000. As of mid 2024, just 5 years later, the greater Spokane area saw home prices jump up to over $350,000. That's a $70,000 appreciation in just 5 years, where the vast majority of that growth has been in our suburban and rural markets. So I know we're getting a lot of numbers thrown at us and things are starting to spin in our head, but let's just boil it down to something more simple. In just 1 year between 2023 and 2024, due to the remote work population, the suburban markets in Spokane grew 18%, while our urban markets only grew 7%. That's more than double. See, what I see in my feedback from my clients is people are getting sick of the cities themselves. All around the nation, what we're seeing is a lot of these densely urban areas are being affected by all sorts of economic and socioeconomic conditions, such as homelessness, petty crime, deterioration of the infrastructures, and lack of access to your general amenities themselves. See, the data is clear and our feedback is even more clear. People want more space, better access to amenities, and a healthier way of life. I think now, more than ever, people are seeking that work-life balance, making choices such as work being a secondary priority and their families first rather than vice versa. But don't just take my word for it. We surveyed some of the remote workers themselves, and our survey data shows remote workers are definitely changing the landscape in which homes are even built and designed. In fact, 70% of remote workers prefer a home with a dedicated office space, 60% of remote workers prefer areas with larger living spaces, and 50% of remote workers prefer properties with outdoor amenities. The stats are so polarizing that we see non-remote workers actually have a 35%, 1/3 less prioritization of home offices, and 20%, 1/5 less priority on outdoor amenities. Here in the greater Spokane area, we have two major neighborhoods in which it seems to be remote workers prefer to move to, which clearly are the City of Liberty Lake and Spokane's own South Hill neighborhoods. It seems to be that our feedback is that our clients prefer these areas due to a greater density of amenities with a very tight-knit community feel. Liberty Lake offers excellent school opportunities and recreational facilities, while South Hill has that great historical charm and abundance of city-maintained parks, and a very strong sense of community. Even our own local employers are starting to recognize this remote work movement, with many of the businesses in Spokane adapting to the times. We're seeing our major utility company, Avista, employ 60% of their workforce remotely, at least part-time. Even our own local Numerica credit union offers 50% of their positions to be remote work. See, it's these shifts and trends in which people choose to live and work which directly affect an area's economy and local housing trends. But it doesn't end there. Even our commercial real estate market has been affected by this, with office space vacancies increasing by 15% in the downtown Spokane area. While, on the other hand, current predictions show that co-working spaces like Spokane's own Spokane Co-work and Fellow Co-working have each reported a 30% rise in memberships in just the past year alone. Which is interesting, right? Because a lot of these remote workers you would think want to live and work at home, yet many of them are choosing to rent office spaces on their own to conduct their work, but still don't want to go into the office itself. So you ask yourself, why is that? Well, by far and away, our feedback is it's definitely a work-life balance. With 75% of remote workers reporting a better work-life balance, and 60% of them feel that they have more times for family and hobbies. When asked if whether or not remote work has improved their quality of life, 80% of the respondents say that remote work has significantly improved their quality of life, citing specifically reduced commutes, better work hours, and overall flexibility. So, in conclusion, remote work seems to be here to stay, with 80% of people who practice remote work citing an significant increase in quality of life, causing major shifts in our real estate market in the local area, changing the way in which builders build brand new homes, and literally creating brand new suburban neighborhoods. This shift is so profound that we're seeing an actual shift in perspective from our local employers, creating more job opportunities for remote workers. Likely in the future, if I had to make a prediction, I would say that the increase in suburban and rural markets is going to continue, while at the same time, what we're going to see is a depression in our urban housing market. It seems likely that we're going to have to find a new use for these urban spaces, find ways to make the neighborhoods feel more secure, attract more local businesses so that people have more access to amenities, and deal with these problems such as homelessness and petty crime head on. All right, guys, that's what I have for you for today. What I'd like you guys to do is comment below your experiences with remote work, how it's affected your life, and some of the unique challenges that you found with the new lifestyle. We're curious to hear your input and get a discussion going. And with that being said, for those of you that don't know, my name is Adam Clark. I'm here with the Living in Spokane WA and the PNW Dream Homes team. If you guys are looking to relocate over to our beautiful city of Spokane and the surrounding areas, be sure to give us a call. One of my team or I will pick up that inquiry, and we'll be sure to help you guys A to Z, anything and everything, to help facilitate a smooth move over to our beautiful city of Spokane. If you can just do us a quick favor and hit that subscribe, it really helps a growing channel out, and we appreciate it so much. Until next time, guys, see you later.